Welcome back to Dynamics. Okay, more movie reviews. Let's go. Since I filmed the last two movie reviews, it's been a while. It's been like a week or so, and since then, my Regal app, is not showing all the movies that I've seen prior to like the last two. And so I'm hoping I don't end up missing any movies. I'm going to be looking to see if I can figure out all the movies that I saw and do some movie reviews. But we'll just go with the ones I'm sure I did see and do some reviews on that. The next movie should be Conclave, but I'm going to skip that one for now. I will come back to Conclave because I'm going to do two videos on Conclave. One being a movie review, just a standard movie review like I do. And one being a movie on how like the religious aspect of the movie impacted me because I'm Catholic. So I'll be doing a or not a movie review on that, but a review on the movie in relationship to being a Catholic. All right, but let's go ahead and do this movie review on Heretic. Heretic was also very interesting, and I could probably touch on some religious issues in this movie review also, but I'm not going to. So let's go ahead and talk about the actual movie itself. All right, so this movie, it was directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. Writers were Scott Beck and Brian Woods, so it's their movie, writer-directors. Stars were Hugh Grant. We'll get back to what they've been in previously, but you know Hugh Grant. Sophie Thatcher is a name that you'll recognize, and Chloe East is a name that I didn't recognize, but we'll see what else she's been in. Okay, so let's see here. Who else was in the movie though? Before we go, you know what? I'll come back to that. Let's talk about Hugh Grant. So Hugh Grant, you guys know him from tons of movies, like in the 90s and 2000s even. He hasn't done as much lately, but this was amazing, and I really do hope to see more stuff from him, especially along these lines. I was really surprised, but I shouldn't have been because he is a really solid actor, and he played creepy as Hugh Grant, and it just was so good. He was so good in this. It wasn't like he was so outside of his box that he was just like when oh, why am I going to forget his name all of a sudden? Anyways, I'm going to move on past that because I'm forgetting his name. So that stinks. Okay, I hate it when my memory does that because it's definitely like a very famous name, and my memory is just like, nope, you're not going to remember that right now. All right, so what else? He originally speaking, he was back in the day doing things like let's see, Four Weddings and a Funeral, 9 months. Let's see, Notting Hill. These are movies that you probably recognize him from, especially if you're my age. Bridget Jones' Diary. Those were the type of movies he did back in the day. More recently, he was in that Wonka, the new Wonka movie with Timothy Chalamet. That was kind of funny. He was in Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, which was kind of an interesting role for him too. He was in Glass Onion briefly, but he was in Glass Onion. So that's kind of the stuff he's been doing recently. Oh, The Gentleman. He was also very good in The Gentleman. I really enjoyed him in this movie. I really hope to see more from him along these lines. Looks like he's doing a Paddington movie the next movie he has coming out is a Paddington movie. We'll see what else he does though. All right, who else? Sophie Thatcher. She's starting to come up. Sophie is from the TV series Yellow Jackets. So if you haven't watched Yellow Jackets, you should. She is really good in Yellow Jackets, and Yellow Jackets is a really good series. She was also in the third X movie, Maxine. And if you're not familiar with that series, that's also something you really want to see. It's Maya Goth doing like different periods in history where she's technically playing different characters. Although, I think it's still a different character in this third movie versus the second movie. But yeah, so or no, she's the same character from the first movie and the third movie is the same character, but down the line a couple years. All right. Sophie Thatcher was also in Boogeyman. She was in Prospect. Let's see, what else might you know her from? The Book of Boba Fett. Okay, yeah, she was in that. All right, a couple or 3 episodes, but it wasn't a long series, so 3 episodes is kind of a lot. Um, she was in. By the way, in Maxine, she was only what's labeled the FX artist. You'll recognize her. She has a pretty important role, but it's small. Um, let's see, The Tomorrow Man, The Exorcist, the TV series. She was in that. All right, now we're going back a little far. But anyways, check her out in Yellow Jackets. Really good stuff, and she was very good in this one as well. All right, and then the other main character is Chloe East. Um, she, let's see, what has she been in? The Fablemans, A Big Bold Beautiful Journey, Generations. I'm not familiar with any of that, so yeah. Popular Theory, Tanning Zone, The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Nope, I don't recognize her from anything. Oh, I guess she was in 2 episodes of True Blood when she was a kid, like 11 years old. So yeah. Anyways, I'm not familiar with her, but I am now, and I enjoyed it. She was good. All right. So I didn't even recognize him in this role. Um, he's in the movie a couple times, so it's not like it's just a one-off real quick. They show him multiple times. He has lines. He is as far as this, there's not a lot of characters in this movie. It's pretty contained, which I really enjoy that type of movie. But Topher Grace plays Elder Kennedy in this. By the way, Hugh Grant's name is Mr. Reed, Sophie Thatcher is Sister Barnes, and Chloe East is Sister Paxton. Topher Grace plays Elder Kennedy, and I didn't even recognize him when I was watching the movie. I didn't know it was him until I saw the credits after the movie, and there he is in the credits, and I'm like, that was Topher Grace? Yeah, so interesting. Let's see, who else is in this movie? Oh, where do you know Topher Grace from? That 70s show, and unfortunately, Spider-Man 3, he was Eddie Brock. That terrible casting, not great, but yeah, he was in Spider-Man 3. He was in Traffic. More recently, Flight Risk. He's going to be doing that movie Flight Risk, which hasn't come out yet, but it looks interesting. I'm definitely going to see that. And I guess he made an episode appearance in the 90s show. Oh, he had a great episode in The Twilight Zone. And if you haven't watched that series, definitely watch that. And he had a great episode in Black Mirror. If you haven't watched Black Mirror, watch Black Mirror. But yeah, so very interesting to have seen him in this. All right, who else is in this movie? Elle Young plays the Prophet. Okay. All right, what's Elle Young from? Because you don't recognize her as the Prophet when you watch it. You probably won't know who she is. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Little Fish, A Score to Settle. All right, yeah. Anyways, Altered Carbon. And then everybody else is kind of just like bit parts, right? So I won't go into those. But basically, the concept of this movie, without spoilers, is the two female leads, the sisters, are not sisters as in biological. They're sisters as in they are Mormon evangelicals, basically. Like they go out and they hand out pamphlets. For the Mormon faith, and so they show up to this door of Hugh Grant's character. He has put in a request to learn more about the Mormon faith, so they show up there to talk to him about the Mormon faith, and he talks them into coming inside, which they're technically not supposed to do unless a female's present. But he tells them that his wife is in the kitchen baking a pie, and that she will be out shortly, so they go in, and then the movie proceeds from there. They can't escape from the house, and things happen, right? And I don't want to do too many spoilers, but basically, He keeps telling them that they can leave at any time, but they really can't. And he questions them about their faith. He starts going into different religions and faiths and how none of them are the true faith, and that he has found the true faith, which you get to at the end, and that's a spoiler, so I won't spoil that. But basically, he tries to convert them to his religion, that he says is the true religion. Super interesting concept, played perfectly by Hugh Grant. The ladies are really great in their roles as well. I really encourage you to go out and see this movie. I do think it might still be in the theaters. Actually, let me check. I think that's why I know I watched it, because it's still on the list of movies that you could possibly still see in the theaters. So if you get the chance, go check it out. I really enjoyed it. If not, wait for it to come on streaming. It'll be a great movie to watch on streaming. Nothing will be lacking by watching it on streaming, if that's your thing. All right, everybody, take care. Have a good day.